What's up, guys? Welcome to G Whiskey. My name's Jeff. Now, this is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and if you stick around to the end, I'll be giving it a score as well. If that sounds interesting, hit subscribe down below. And with that out of the way, why don't we jump into our review? Today, we're looking at the Bowmore 18 Deep and Complex. Stick around. Okay, so we're heading over to Islay today, and we're looking at a Bowmore. Bowmore is not a super popular distillery these days. I think it used to be, but not so much nowadays. I recently did a video where I ranked the Islay distilleries. I ended up putting Bowmore near the bottom of that list, and a lot of the comments under that video kind of echoed that sentiment. So it does seem like as a brand, they're fighting an uphill battle. Personally, I do think they have an interesting house style. I think they can put out some really nice whiskeys. And the expression we're looking at today, the 18-year-old Deep and Complex, might just be one of them. Right out the gate, I should probably make it clear that this is not the normal or the standard Bowmore 18. This one's called the Deep and Complex, as I just said. This is their travel retail exclusive. Now, travel retail whiskeys are often considered the lesser expressions from a distillery. They might come in with a lower ABV, they might be colored, chill filtered, all that, but Bowmore doesn't usually give us good specs with their regular range in the first place, so between their normal line and the travel retail line, would we even know the difference in terms of quality? In terms of actual quality, maybe not a big difference. They both have pretty similar specs, the two 18-year-olds, but you are going to have a slight difference in terms of maturation. Now, I believe the regular 18-year-old is bourbon matured and then Oloroso finished, whereas our Deep and Complex here also has some PX thrown into the mix. Now, both versions of the 18 have been pretty well received. They get a lot more praise and appreciation than pretty much the entirety of the rest of Bowmore's core range. The regular 18 has seen quite a few changes over the years. I remember back in the day, those older bottlings had a lot more like soapy, lavender type flavors to them. And a lot of people found that kind of off-putting, myself included, but it does seem like Bowmore's made some adjustments there. They fixed some of those issues, and our new 18-year-old no longer has those kind of soapy notes to it. So that's a good thing. And you know, I'd love to see more change come from Bowmore. For example, you could address your lower ABVs and your non-naturally presented whiskeys. Do that and you might be on track to bounce back into the realm of widely respected distilleries. Probably never going to happen, but you know what? We can dream. Yeah, so tell you what, why don't we hop into a review of this one, see what our whiskey is all about, and in the meantime, if you could kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. So we are looking at a Bowmore here. We can expect normal Bowmore level specs. This one comes in at 43% ABV. It is going to be chill filtered. It is going to be colored. So we have our unnatural color here. Bowmore bottles are okay. I mean, I feel pretty neutral towards them. They don't do anything wrong. They don't look bad. They might be a little bit uninspired. They're very standardized. Presentation score will be 3 out of 5. To its credit, it does say in like German or Dutch that there's E150A or caramel colorant in here. That's the law to declare that in some markets, so maybe this bottle was intended for Europe. I don't know. We have some tasting notes on the back. We have both Oloroso and PX casks listed on the front, so the info is actually not half bad here. There's not too much noise. Bottle's okay. Let's try our nose. So nice, sweet, smoky. Some campfire notes, some candied strawberry, chocolate cake, black forest cake, pork jerky, glazed ham, some savory meaty elements in here, some leather. We have treacle, we have toffee, some hazelnut liqueur, and some faint coastal notes. We do get some of those candied sherried elements coming through from the PX casks. Very inviting nose. Now our palate. Again, sweet and smoky. We have the classic sort of Bowmore profile with those leathers and tobaccos. Got a few extra layers on top of that. Smoke, firewood, earth. Again, that candied cherry, sweet berries. We have chocolate covered cherries in here and maybe some strawberry liqueur. And now our finish. Okay, some oak, some more of those sweet PX notes, continuation of the palate with those chocolate covered maraschino cherries, maybe some strawberry trifle in here. Very chocolatey, like some brownies, candied strawberries, smoke, bonfire, earth, molasses. Medium in length. So we've got all the classic Bowmore trademarks in here. We've got the smoke, the leather, the tobacco. Bowmore is a very distinctive whiskey, and the moment we nose this one, we know we're in Bowmore territory. And this one's going to be pretty different from any of their 10s or 12s or 15s, and by different, I do mean better. Our whiskey here is more refined. We have more oak in here. Our peat's a little bit calmer. I think the biggest difference, though, is going to be the sherry. The sherry here is less simple. It's more complex than it is in some of their lesser expressions. So what we've got here is a much more cohesive and honestly more sophisticated whiskey than what we usually get with Bowmore. Both the Oloroso and the PX cask have left their mark. The PX influence is a little bit more forward though. We get a lot of those sort of candied sherry notes in here, and they work really nicely with the overall character. I also like the dark chocolate, chocolate cake, black forest cake notes in here. We also have some really nice kind of savory, meaty elements to this. These flavors are all balanced and they come together in a surprisingly satisfying way. And you know, usually I come down pretty hard on these lower ABV whiskeys, but honestly, the 43% doesn't really bother me here. This whiskey is big enough, it's interesting enough that lower ABV never really becomes a factor. So yeah, I really like this stuff. This is going to be my favorite affordable Bowmore. Of course, there are going to be better Bowmores out there if you get into the much older stuff, but if you want to stay within the realm of reasonable pricing, as far as I'm concerned, this is the best from the brand. I even prefer it to the regular 18-year-old. So my score here is going to be 91, which is a great score, especially when you consider the weak specs. But I think the age, the cask play, and the unique flavors make this whiskey a huge standout. And I don't just mean a standout among Bowmores, but it's a standout within the 18-year-old category on the whole. So don't overlook this one. Even if you're not a big Bowmore fan, this is them getting it right. And it's one of those whiskeys where the name actually works. It's called Deep and Complex. It actually is deep and complex. And beyond that, I would also call this very consistent. Because some whiskeys might be great one night and then kind of like so-so the next night. They don't always meet our expectations. Of course, that's normal. It might depend on palate, mood, all that stuff. But for some odd reason, this one hits right every single time. It never really wavers in its delivery, which is kind of cool. Yeah, excellent stuff. One to try for sure. So I think we've got some great value on this one. It's very affordable for an 18-year-old whiskey. And like I said, I prefer this to the regular 18-year-old, which works out because this is actually a few pounds cheaper than that one. I believe I'm on my third bottle of this. Again, very satisfying stuff. And disregarding the other Bowmore comparisons, again, for an 18-year-old, this is very cheap. It's at the lower end of the pricing spectrum for its age. So again, excellent stuff. Very good value for money. Definitely one worth checking out. Alright, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, hit subscribe down below, click that little bell icon, and of course, smash the like. Now, I do want to hear from you. Have you tried our Bowmore 18 Deep and Complex? What were your thoughts on it? And finally, down in the comments below, do let me know what you want to see me review next, and I'll keep it in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.